Welcome to the Story King, where every tale captivates your soul. The Wolf King's Impossible Heir. The pregnancy test clattered against the marble sink, its twin lines mocking everything Sarah thought she knew about her life. Impossible. Alpha King Dominic Blackthorne was infertile. The entire kingdom knew it. 3 marriages, countless physicians, and 20 years of desperate hope had all confirmed the devastating truth: the most powerful werewolf in the Northern Territories would never sire an heir. It was why he'd eventually stopped trying, why he'd married Sarah in a cold political arrangement 6 months ago, why their marriage remained unconsummated except for one night 3 weeks past. One night when the full moon had driven him to her chambers, his eyes blazing with a feral hunger she'd never seen before. Sarah's hands trembled as she pressed them against her still flat stomach. The palace walls seemed to close in around her, their ancient stones whispering secrets she wasn't ready to hear. If Dominic discovered this, if anyone discovered this, they'd assume the worst. They'd call her a whore, an adulteress. They'd demand her execution for treason against the crown. Because the Wolf King couldn't father children. Everyone knew that. Your Majesty. A sharp knock jolted her back to reality. The king requests your presence in his study. Immediately, Sarah's blood turned to ice. The walk through the palace corridors felt like a march to the gallows. Sarah kept her chin high, her face carefully blank, even as her mind raced through possibilities. Could he know already? Did werewolf kings possess some supernatural ability to sense new life? She found Dominic standing at the window of his study, a silhouette of raw power against the dying light. Even after 6 months, his presence still stole her breath, broad shoulders that carried the weight of a kingdom, dark hair that fell just past his collar, and those startling silver eyes that seemed to see straight through every wall she built around her heart. You wanted to see me, my lord. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. He didn't turn. How long did you think you could hide it? Her heart stopped. I don't understand. The trembling hands at breakfast. The way you've avoided wine for the past week. The scent. He finally turned, and those silver eyes pinned her in place. Your scent has changed, Sarah. Sweeter, richer. He moved toward her with predatory grace. Do you take me for a fool? She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Dominic, I swear to you, you're terrified of me. Something flickered across his face, hurt, quickly masked by cold fury. You think I would harm you. You don't understand, she whispered. This isn't possible. You can't. Everyone says you can't. Can't what? His hand shot out, gripping her chin with surprising gentleness despite his anger. Finish the sentence, wife. Have children, she breathed. You're infertile. The physicians, your previous wives, everyone confirmed it. So this, she pressed a hand to her stomach, this should be impossible. Which means you'll think I've betrayed you, that the child isn't yours, but I swear on my life, Dominic, there's been no one else. Only you, only that one night when you came to me and... She broke off, tears streaming down her face, waiting for his rage. Instead, his thumb brushed away her tears with heartbreaking tenderness. The full moon, he said quietly. The night of the blood moon eclipse. She nodded, not trusting her voice. A sound escaped him, half laugh, half sob. His forehead dropped to rest against hers, and his hands cradled her face like she was something precious and fragile. Sarah, my Sarah, you're carrying my child. But how? They said, they were wrong. His voice roughened with emotion. Or perhaps the curse has finally broken. Curse? Dominic pulled back, his eyes searching hers. For the first time since their arranged marriage, she saw past the cold, controlled king to the man beneath, vulnerable, desperate, afraid to hope. Sit, he commanded softly, guiding her to the leather sofa. He paced before her, running his hands through his dark hair. What I'm about to tell you cannot leave this room. Not until we understand what's happening. Sarah nodded, her heart pounding. 50 years ago, my great-grandmother, a powerful witch, cursed the Blackthorne bloodline. My grandfather had wronged her daughter, refused to acknowledge their son, cast him out. In her rage, she declared that no Blackthorn king would ever produce an heir through anything but true love. His laugh was bitter. We thought it superstition, coincidence. But 3 marriages, all political arrangements, all childless. Until now, Sarah whispered. His eyes met hers, burning with an intensity that made her breath catch. Until you. The confession hung between them, fragile and dangerous. You don't love me, she said, though her heart thundered with sudden, desperate hope. Our marriage was arranged. You needed an alliance with the Eastern Pax. I chose you, Sarah. He knelt before her, taking her hands in his. The gesture, a king on his knees, stole her words. My council presented 12 potential brides. I chose you. Do you know why? She shook her head, not trusting herself to speak. Because when I saw you at the treaty gathering, you were feeding a stray pup from your own plate. Your guards told you it was beneath your station, and you told them that compassion was never beneath anyone. You have fire in you, kindness, strength. I chose you because even then, I knew. His grip tightened. I knew you were the one who could break this curse, even if I didn't want to admit why. Dominic, I've been fighting it, he continued, his voice raw. Fighting these feelings because I thought I would disappoint you as I disappointed every other woman who bore my name. I thought keeping my distance was mercy. But that night, the blood moon, I couldn't stay away anymore. Something in me knew I had to come to you. Needed to claim you as truly mine. Sarah's free hand rose to touch his face, tracing the sharp line of his jaw. And the child is a miracle. He turned his head to press a kiss to her palm. Is proof that what I feel for you is real, no matter how much I tried to deny it. The curse can only be broken by true love, Sarah. Our child exists because, his voice cracked, because I love you. The words shattered something inside her, some wall she'd built to protect herself from hoping, from wanting, from loving a man who seemed unreachable. I thought you hated me, she confessed. You were so cold, so distant. I thought I was just another duty. Never. He rose, pulling her up with him, his arms wrapping around her as if she might disappear. You were never a duty. You were a temptation I thought I couldn't afford. A dream I didn't deserve. His hand splayed across her stomach, protective and possessive. But now, this child, our child, proves I was wrong to push you away. What do we do now? Sarah leaned into his warmth, finally allowing herself to accept the comfort she'd craved for months. When people learn I'm pregnant, they'll question everything. They'll accuse me. Let them try. The Wolf King's voice dropped to a dangerous growl. Anyone who threatens you or our child will answer to me. But you're right, we must be strategic. He pulled back enough to meet her eyes. We'll announce it together, but first, we need proof of the curse's breaking. My grandmother's grimoire is in the vault. If we can document the curse and its conditions, no one can dispute our child's legitimacy. And if they still doubt, a fierce smile crossed his face. Then they'll witness firsthand what happens when someone threatens the Wolf King's true mate and his heir. The possessive declaration sent shivers down her spine, not of fear, but of something far more dangerous. Want, need, love. Dominic, she breathed. I need you to know, even when I thought you didn't care for me, even when I felt alone in this marriage, she gathered her courage. I fell in love with you anyway. With your dedication to your people, your hidden kindness, the way you carry your burdens without complaint. I loved you even when I thought you could never love me back. His kiss was an answer and a promise, fierce, tender, claiming. When he finally pulled away, both were breathless. No more distance, he vowed against her lips. No more cold shoulders or separate chambers. You are my queen, my mate, the mother of my child. From this moment forward, all the love I've been hoarding, all the devotion I've been denying, it's yours. Ours, she corrected, placing his hand back on her stomach. Everything is ours now. As the sun set over the northern territories, the impossible became real, a cursed king who couldn't have children, a queen who shouldn't be pregnant, and a love that had broken a 50-year curse. In the months that followed, Dominic became a different man, or perhaps, became himself for the first time. He moved Sarah into his chambers, spent every evening with his hand on her growing belly, talking to their child about the kingdom they would inherit. The court was shocked by their king's transformation from cold ruler to devoted husband, but the evidence was undeniable. When the council questioned the pregnancy's legitimacy, Dominic presented his great-grandmother's grimoire, the curse documented in fading ink and blood magic. When nobles whispered about impossibilities, he challenged them to combat, none accepted. And when Sarah finally went into labor on a night when the moon hung full and bright, Dominic never left her side, his hand gripping hers, his love a tangible force that gave her strength. Their daughter was born with her father's silver eyes and her mother's fierce spirit, and her first cry shattered the last remnants of the ancient curse. King Dominic Blackthorn held his wife and child as dawn broke, his heart fuller than he'd ever imagined possible. "Thank you," he whispered against Sarah's temple, "for believing in the impossible, for loving me when I didn't know how to love myself, for giving me everything." Sarah smiled, exhausted and radiant. "We gave each other everything. That's what true love does." And in the Northern Territories, a kingdom that had mourned a dying bloodline now celebrated a miracle, an infertile king who found his cure in love, a queen who dared to hope, and a child who proved that sometimes, the most impossible stories are the truest ones. Thank you for journeying with the Story King, where legends come alive and magic never ends.